So man, you had an interesting day. It looked like the last couple of days.
Oh my God! Every day just seems to get better and better.
So before I go, I forgot. So this is Tara. Tara, I don't want to say your last name wrong. So can you say it for me? Shapansky. Right on. All right, we got it right there. And you're with the Polish American Brotherhood. That's your website.
Channel on YouTube. Yeah.
Awesome. So I didn't know. I met you in DC 2 weeks ago. You walked up with me and Brandon, and you talked to me for like 1 second, and then took off running. So.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, "Who's that girl with Brandon?" And you guys just took off real quick.
I mean, DC nights are always very, very hectic. So, especially in the evenings when we're with the Proud Boys and everything. Love those guys.
Yeah. So, what happened? Why don't you tell everybody what happened, and then we'll show them the video, or from your point. Or do you want to watch the video first and then tell them?
Let's watch the video first, and then I can talk through a couple of things.
All right.
So.
Let's see. Where do I want? I'll start with this one. This is actually I'll start the other way around because I think it's backwards. Let me put you on. We're gonna turn us off, and here we go. Let's show everybody what happened.
They egg me, punch me in the head.
Oh, whoops! I started too soon.
Y'all, I'm gonna stay here behind y'all because they just egg me.
6 feet. Social distance.
All right, social distance. They egg me, punch me in the head.
All right, so that's the short one. But here's how the guys were messing with her before that. I guess it was before.
She's a Nazi. She's a fucking Nazi. She's a fucking Nazi, right? She supports Trump. She supports Trump. Why you protect her? She supports Trump. Why you protect her? Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Get the fuck away from me. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out.
All right, that was crazy.
That was actually the second time they came and assaulted me. So there was 2 assaults that actually happened.
Yeah, I can't find that other one. Did they delete it from Facebook or from YouTube, or what happened to that?
Okay, so it's
They're not going to stop, and they're not. This is a movement. I'm telling you, they're not going to stop. And everyone beware, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that they're not going to let up, and they should not. And we
no match for the rioters carrying out an 8-foot long 2x4. So an 8-foot, a big one, right? She literally got it beat down by this guy's. Her husband came out trying to.
Overnight, Minneapolis on fire. Protesters leaving an auto parts store in flames. Others seen looting a local Target.
Tonight was a different night of protesting.
All of it after demonstrators approached one of the city's police precincts.
We're about to lose the front of the precinct if we don't move this crowd out of the front.
Officers in riot gear tried to maintain order.
You can see the smoke bombs in the distance, and police have been firing pepper spray to try and disperse this crowd. Hundreds of protesters had gathered here, and now police are trying to push them back to keep the peace.
They'd gathered hours before, furious at the death of 46-year-old George Floyd.
When is it really gonna change? When is it really gonna stop?
The outrage building nationwide. In Los Angeles overnight, Black Lives Matter protesters blocked a major freeway. This man jumped on a police cruiser as it sped away. President Trump weighed in, saying justice will be served, and that he's asking the FBI to expedite its investigation into the case.
A very sad event. Very, very sad event.
Now, after the 4 Minneapolis officers involved were fired, the city's mayor is calling on the county attorney.
It happened just a few days ago. A mob of Trump supporters shattering windows, looting offices, destroying government property, and attacking police officers. Members of Congress forced to take cover, many locked in chambers and offices, fearing for their lives. Millions of Americans watching the shocking scenes on television. Democratic Representative Mark Takano holding a virtual town hall meeting today, speaking about the moves he had to make to protect himself during the rioting and what he now believes lawmakers.
I want to be very clear. I unequivocally condemn the violence that we saw last week. Violence and vandalism have absolutely no place in our country and no place in our movement. Making America great again has always been about defending the rule of law, supporting the men and women of law enforcement, and upholding our nation's most sacred traditions and values. Mob violence goes against everything I believe in and everything our movement stands for. No true supporter of mine could ever endorse political violence. No true supporter of mine could ever disrespect law enforcement or our great American flag. No true supporter of mine could ever threaten or harass their fellow Americans. If you do any of these things, you are not supporting our movement, you are attacking it, and you are attacking our country. We cannot tolerate it. Tragically, over the course of the past year, made so difficult because of COVID-19, we have seen political violence spiral out of control. We have seen too many riots, too many mobs, too many acts of intimidation and destruction. It must stop. Whether you are on the right or on the left, a Democrat or a Republican, there is never a justification for violence. No excuses, no exceptions. America is a nation of laws. Those who engaged in the attacks last week will be brought to justice.
I rise in support of the article of impeachment against Donald J. Trump. If we fail to remove a white supremacist president who incited a white supremacist insurrection, it's communities like Missouri's 1st District that suffer the most. The 117th Congress must understand that we have a mandate to legislate in defense of Black lives. The first step in that process is to root out white supremacy, starting with impeaching the white supremacist.
Endorsement from David Duke.
I didn't even know he endorsed me. David Duke endorsed me? Okay. All right.
This is a very serious matter.
Hate groups are not for me. But I've said this before. The press hates me to say it. They just don't want to pick it up.
We are a country that stands united in condemning hate and evil in all of its very ugly.
It's right.
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying you, before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you and evil?